All right. Let's see. Let's see my stream. Test. See my stream. Test. Alright, we are good. In my lights, so I can see this in perfect color. Okay, let's start. Alright, let's get started on some stuff. I want some wind to flow over here. Like this, right? Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna do shader nodes. In addition, I also want the ground speed lines. Right here, I want a smear frame. A chain here, forming at this time. Okay, want to correct the animation here. Can I put onion skinning on? View, stabilize, select box. No? Yeah, it's because we're not using. I'm not using grease pencil, so it doesn't look that way. And to be straight. Can I actually remove this? I think I can. Fully straight. Ooh, wait, no, I have an idea. Oh, so that's how it is. That's kind of cool. Hold control to raise. This. Then. Yeah, there we go. That's how we do it. Hello, Luke. Welcome. Welcome. This is what you asked for, and we're gonna do it today. Right now, I'm just what's this called? I'm like sketching out where I want. I'm currently sketching out where I want the effects to be. So that rope thing, he's gonna have a chain on her hand that she uses like a grappling hook in this scene. And so I'm not good with the grappling hook thing yet, so I need to like I had to visualize it before I actually animate the thing. It's gonna be in 3D, obviously, but doing it in 2D first helps a lot. Oh wait, you can't see. Okay, you can't see annotations if I hide the viewport. That's annoying. Let me turn off bones then. There you go. Right here. We're gonna have an impact frame right here. 1, 2. Gonna have sparks flying out. And here, I want there to be like some wind that gets blown across. And like a shockwave. I make this bigger, I guess I just make it bigger like that, and then this has to be thinner because it's far back. Yeah, and then I can finish it off like this. Hello, hello, Saihat. Hello, John. Welcome back. Happy weekend, indeed. Then I just quietly kill the wind in the background. Oh, here we go. That's all the sketching done. I'm trying to watch it one more time before we start actually making effects. Yep. So we'll be doing most of these in Blender. Some of the things I'll be doing in some of the things I'll be doing in After Effects, like impact frames, and I think lens flare, because right in this beginning part, it's hard to see the initial this thing is 'cause it's very tiny. So in order to like visualize it, we're gonna be using lens flares to to show its position as it's traveling across the air, and then it like stops the closer it is, it'll glow less, and then eventually it'll just once the object is actually visible, we'll turn off the lens flare. So that's gonna be done in After Effects. Other than that, impact frames gonna be done in After Effects. Smear frames gonna be done in Blender. Everything else is gonna be done. So let's start off with the easiest thing to do, and it's the speed line on the ground. Super easy. I'm gonna turn this back on. All right, save this. I'm gonna. Ooh, okay, I can't delete all of the annotations. How do I lock annotations? There we go. I'm gonna duplicate the plane. Turn off this animation auto keying. I'm gonna move it slightly upward. Give it a new material. Control T to give it a texture coordinate thingamabob. Noise texture on the mapping. Plug in the noise texture directly to the material output for now, so I can see. That's what we see. I saw that video of yours about cloth physics on my. Oh, did you now? How was it? I know it was extremely hard to follow for me the second time I watched it because I am extremely bad at making tutorials. I was cringing at how bad I was. So I apologize for the really bad tutorials. I think as long as people followed it properly, I think you probably would get the end result that you need, right? At least I hope people did. Alright, so we need the speed lines, and we just turn this from linear to constant. Now we have the speed lines. We want the speed lines to be black because our ground is white. So we're gonna switch the handles. There we go. So be the speed lines. They're still too thick right now. So I'm gonna increase the X scale a bit more to get them more thin. They're kind of spread apart. If you want them to be closer together, you increase the scale. Oh, sorry, not increase the scale. Sorry, what was it? Detail. I forgot what it was. Reduce roughness, reduce detail. It's one of these. I forgot which one it was. Distortion. I think it's distortion. Yeah. Increase the distortion, and then you change your thing, it'll be closer together. But don't really need to do that. I'm gonna increase the X a bit more, just a little bit more. And then, in addition to that, I'm gonna decrease the Y, so that the lines are longer. There you go. And this should be good enough. Now we go in, and we have it on the ground at least. Now there's gonna be an actual world to this, so I can't exactly use this material setup. I need to plug it into the alpha right here. Base color, make sure it's completely black. Let the shaders update. It's on the wrong direction, so we have to flip this one more time. Yep, and now it's in the right direction. Turn off specular, so it's pure black. Now this is an overlay, so I can change the ground to be any color I want it to be. This ground can be red, yellow, green, blue, and we'll still have like speed lines on the top. So I can make the bottom like a Minecraft floor. So let's try out. I'm gonna try out Doku Craft. Doku. Let's try out a random block. Textures. Block. what block shall we use? The first block I see is jungle planks. Actually, no. Let's use cobblestone. Cobblestone is always a good choice. Cobblestone. Okay, I'm gonna closest. Increase the scale of this. So yeah, now we just have a bunch of cobblestone. Not the specular. And when we go in, the cobblestone has the speed lines now. If you want those speed lines to be white, alright, so I'm gonna give you guys time to copy this node setup, right? Boom, get ready to get a screenshot. Texture coordinate on UV or object, it doesn't matter which one you use really. The only difference it'll make is how you animate, which axis you use to animate. If you use object, it'll be like the world axis. If you use UV, it'll be dependent on your UV axis, but it's either going to be X or Y. It's almost never going to be Z unless you're going up and down. So yeah, so texture coordinate on UV or object doesn't really matter. Don't go generated, because generated would be funky with the geometry of the object itself. So if you don't have like a flat surface, it might like curve, and you don't really want that. Plug it into a mapping node, increase the X scale, and decrease the Y scale. If you're using UV, if you're using object, it might be flipped. But you know, you just play around with it, and you'll figure out which one is which. So basically, X is to make the lines thinner. Y is to make the lines longer. That's the whole point of this. And you connect your mapping node into a noise texture, and then simply play around with the settings. You'll get what you want eventually. Plug the noise texture into a color ramp, and then set it to constant. You can also use a math node. And set it to compare. If we do this, let it update, lower the epsilon. It gives you the same effect, and it's like, you know, but then this is more mathematical. So if you don't have a good abstract idea of math, it might be difficult to use this. So visually, it's easy to use a color ramp, because you can kind of tell, you know, how much black is being shown. And after that, you connect it into an alpha. You connect it into a principal BSDF into the alpha node. So it'll be the bottom. The white parts will be transparent. I think. Wait, no. Let me just double check this. I don't wanna. Yeah, the white parts will be non-transparent, and the black parts will be transparent. Right. So this is what we have from the color ramp. So this, when you plug it into the alpha, it just tells the node that anything that's white show, anything that's black don't show. And that's what happens here. And then I would always turn off the specular, because then you wouldn't get a pure black color. This is specifically if you're going for like non-photorealistic. If you want photorealism, you probably don't if you're doing this, right? Because it doesn't make sense for the speed lines to glow. So anyway, now we have the speed lines, but it doesn't move, right? It doesn't move. In order to make it move, it's pretty simple. You first go to the start of where the speed lines are, which is for us at frame 101. You go to your mapping, and then you tweak around with the XYZ, find out which direction is which. So if I go up and I move the X, it's going left and right. So X means left and right in this case. If you go Z does not really change direction. It's just like randomizing the noise. So this is the up and down direction, we know that. Y, however, now you can see that there's clear motion front and back compared to Z. Z, you can technically also use Z to move your thing, but Y is the correct node to move, or the correct direction to move in. So I use the base color to change the colors. Yeah, you can use the base color here. You can use the base color here to change it. You can also, if you want it to be kind of cool, you can make it glow too. Nothing is stopping you. You can use emissions too, but if you're gonna go for black, you might as well just change the base color, because you're not gonna emit a black. So anyway, back to where we were, right? So you want to move your y-axis, or your y location. Increasing it forward makes it move forward. Sorry, increasing it up, increasing the value up makes it move forward. Decreasing the value will make it move down. So for us, we want it to go down, because we want the character to feel like they're moving forward, right? Not the character is stationary, right? But the speed lines will make it feel like they're going forward. And to do that, we need to find the end of the... Right here. This is the end. And then now we just move it back. So I'm going to try -2.1 or 2.5. All right. If you want to check out the keyframes for your material nodes, you must first select the object that is that has the material node, and then you have to select the material node must be selected first as well. So if I don't select the material node, you don't see you don't see the keyframes. But if you click on the mapping node, then you can see the keyframes. That's important. Oh, okay then, John. See you later. So after this, right now it's on Bezier interpolation. Usually, I want it always on linear for speed lines, unless I want to do like some easing, but that's like rare usually. I don't usually do that. So now with this is what it looks like. Okay, so we have one problem, and it's that the ground isn't actually moving. So I'm gonna go and fix that real quick. I can do this in the shader nodes as well. So I can select this, go to wherever it ends, which is right here. Yep. Move it back a few. Make it linear always. Okay, this needs to be much faster, so let's go -10 instead. Yeah, now we got some movement. Let's go full screen so you can see this. Yep, and there we go. That's how you do it. That's how we got the speed lines going. Next, I'm gonna make the speed lines disappear, which is just size 0. Make sure the previous keyframe is keyframed at full size, and then you size 0 the next one, and it's gone. Once you do that, now we go to the next one. Okay, I want to do a bit of movement here as well, because right here there's supposed to be movement. So I'm gonna just I'm honestly just gonna copy paste the movement because it's probably gonna be the same. A little fast, I feel. Slower down. The character does slow down actually a little bit here. I'm gonna do this right there. That's where the character slows down. This might be one of the points where you actually want Bezier interpolation, but that's up to you to decide. No, not here though. This one has to be linear. Alright, let's go for the next thing I need, which is the wind effects from the edges of the character. This one is something I've only recently done, so this might not be the best way to do it, but I'll show you how I do it, because I've used it in Nov's intro. So first things first, let's make the material, the wind material. I'm gonna go over here, add in a new material, and let's go and do the same setup as last time. Coordinate, into mapping, into texture. We want to make it a noise texture, obviously. Put it into the material output because we need to check for this. Now, so wind textures, how are we gonna how am I gonna explain this? It's a little difficult to explain. I'm just gonna add in a color ramp so I can easily differentiate between black and white for now. It's gonna do this, right? So we need to change this into a wind texture. Honestly, I have a wind texture. As long as it looks like fire, we can use that and it'll work. Now, first thing I want it to stretch from the left to the right. So we're gonna want it to stretch from left to right, and then I want to squeeze it down. So squeezing it down means increasing it in the Y, which is technically the opposite of what we did with the speed lines. But this is what I'm gonna do. Oh, are you gonna go? Alright, I'll keep on explaining to nobody then. Bye bye, Luke. Anyway, so in order to get the speed lines, not speed lines, sorry, what was I doing? In order to get the thing I'm looking for is I squeeze it down and I increase the length. So increasing the length means decreasing one of the axes, and squeezing it means increasing the other axis. So if I squeeze X, I have to increase Y. If I increase X, I have to squeeze Y. That's pretty much what it is. I want it to be a bit more wavy, and the way you do more waviness is, I guess, I'm gonna lower the roughness, and I'm gonna increase the distortion, so it gets kind of wavy. It's not very wavy right now. Increase the roughness a little bit, increase more detail maybe. Get some edges to it. So this is kind of okay. I want the wind effect to be centralized though, so it'll fade up in the top and it'll fade out in the bottom. In order to do that, I need a length node. So I'm going to take the UV, drag it out, and get a length node connected to it. Now when I connect this to the material output, this is what I'll get. It's a little bit centered on the corner, which is not what we want. So instead of doing anything about it and moving it manually, I'm going to instead put a connector here so this UV I can change both of these nodes with one connector. Instead of using UV, I'm going to use object this time. Now it's centered because for the UV always the 0, 0 for a UV map is always the corner of a cube, or sorry, corner of a square. But the 0, 0 for an object is the origin, and the origin just happens to be in the center of the square. So it's perfect for us. Next, length. So now we have like a value or like a gradient that goes from the center to the outside, and we can use this with like a not compare, sorry. Let's put another ramp in. And now we can do this like circular fade on the outside, which won't look good honestly if I put in a math node. Not math node, sorry. Math node works. I'm gonna use multiply. And then I'm gonna switch this as well. So yeah, if I use this, this is not good enough. This is not what we want. So I'm gonna try a different method now.
Oh, sorry. I have a question that I want to create this effect that I sent you. I'm try making. Okay, so you want an effect that you can make in Blender,
but you tried and you failed. What is this effect here you're showing? Let me see this. This with like this with like a. I can hear myself in the videos you sent me. Okay, there's that. That's not. It's gonna be difficult to do it in post with just one image. You're gonna have to use multiple.
transition effect.
Yeah, that's I can see the transition effect. You could try use ray portals inside Blender. I still don't know how to use them though, so it's gonna be. I can't really exactly explain, but it's definitely something you can use ray portals for. Search up ray portals. It's very, very interesting. You can create distortion effects using material nodes, and I think it's really cool. So anyway, I'm gonna go back to this first. So that does clear does work. We don't want a circular one. We want more square, where the top fades and the bottom fades like in an equal manner. So how we do with that is you take a separate XYZ node. Let's find out which direction is which. Though I already know this is Y is probably the one we're looking for. Yeah, Y is the one we're looking for. So we have this gradient from bottom to top. Now something cool you can do is if I put this into a color ramp and I add one in the middle, make that white, and then make the corners black. Ooh. Okay, I think this might be one of the instances where you want to use UV. Yeah, this might be one of the instances where you want to use UV, because UV starts from down here. Because the color ramp only works between 0 and 1. And for an object, 0 is in the middle, 1 is at the top, -1 is at the bottom. For a UV map, though, 0 is at the bottom, 1 is at the top. So we can use color ramps with the UV maps. You can also translate it, but that's a lot of math. I don't think you guys want to use math. So now we have a gradient that goes from black to white to black, and now we can use this to control our opacity of the effect. When we do this and we connect this in here, now we have the thing we technically need. I'm gonna add in another math node in between this, and I've set it to multiply. This will simply increase. This will increase the strength of the. What is it? the outer part. Actually, wait, I think it might be power, not multiply. Try power. Yeah, there we go. Multiply does not work the same. This is all math stuff that you probably don't know, so I won't bother explaining it. Right. So power will darken the edges more, give us like a better gradient, more easing. Now from this, I will add in another RAM in front of this, and in this one, I'll set it to constant. And now we have a wind effect that is centralized. It's a bit too wonky though for me. I'm gonna do this. A bit lower distortion, maybe a bit more detail. Probably too much detail. Takes some getting used to. Okay, if I use ease, can I get like a nice... Ooh, yes I can. This is nice too. Okay. And now we have this, and here's the cool thing, is you can animate the movement of this. So now it kind of looks like, you know, movement. And then the magic happens when we apply this texture to a different kind of object that isn't a plane. So if I take a curve, Bezier curve, and I wrap it around my character, like so. So I'm gonna go and extrude the curve via this. I'm gonna do a bit of... I'm gonna size this as well. It's kind of small, and then it becomes larger. Okay, this is what it looks like without the texture. When I apply the texture, it looks like this. I'm gonna do a bit of squeezing because I think it might need more squeezing. Oh wait, no. Okay, here's another problem we're gonna walk into. We can't use object and on a curve because the object coordinates are always based on like global coordinates, but our curve is obviously not straight like a plane. It's curved. So in this case, you want to use UV. And we get this. It's pretty wonky. I'm gonna increase the resolution so it's not very choppy. Hopefully that's fine. And then I'm going to decrease the scale on the X a little bit because our curve is pretty long. Maybe squeeze down a bit more on the Y. Nah. Lower the power a bit so we get a bit more on the outside. Yep, this is pretty good. And yeah, so we could use this. So this is what it looks like on camera view. It doesn't look too good yet. However, when I go into materials, plug it back into the principled BSDF, and put it in the alpha, I'm gonna have to switch it one more time. Oh, there we go. We got it. I'm gonna switch this over to blend mode because it's better, or it performs better in the viewport. Hello gaming, hello Shem, how are you doing today? Alright, so here's what we get. I'm gonna try see if I can put a subdivision modifier here. It doesn't work. Oh, I have simplify on. Yeah, okay, so if I have simplify on, if I have simplify off, this looks better. Okay, and then one more thing I want to do before we do anything else is I want to add in a math node one more time before the alpha. Set it to multiply. And then just wait for the shader to compile. Yep, okay, so now I don't want it to be like super harsh. Right now it's extremely like, it's like opaque. I want it to be not very opaque. So I just decrease the multiply value to lower the, it just makes the mask darker. So it's like, it was originally this. Now it's like 0.2. So I just made it darker, and this causes the alpha mask, or the visible parts to be less visible. And that's what I want. So this is what we get. All right, I'm gonna try. I think I might turn on backface culling because I don't want to see this backface. It doesn't look that good. Can I turn off backface culling? Can I turn on backface culling? Transparency overlap. There we go. Turn off transparency overlap. That's technically what we need, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna turn it off for now because this is basically what I need. Okay, so now that we're here, we can go in and animate the movement. It's super simple. We only need the X movement now, so I'm gonna go to the beginning 101, animate, and then go all the way to the end, which is 130 something, 133, and we just move it backwards. And then one more time, set it to linear. And there we go. We have like wind effect. That's basically it. We have the wind effect. Now the only problem is the wind effect is extremely stationary. In order to fix that, we have to move the curve. I'm not sure if this works, but I want to try anyway. Can I add in a wave modifier to the curve? Yes, I can. And now you just made wind. Just with this setup. That's how you do it. I can increase the speed of the wind by changing the speed. There we go. There's the speed right there. Too fast. Let's go a bit slower. A bit faster. A little bit less. I can also give it a noise texture. I think this affects the randomness of it, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. Additionally, I think there's another method you can use, and it's using hooks. I'll show you what a hook is. So let's say I want to parent. Okay, so you can see how the hand kind of moves up and down, right? And we always want the thing to be behind the hand. So in order to do that, I'm going to add in a hook to the end of this. I think there's like an easy way to do it. If I go here, curve. I think it's H. No, it's not H. Control H? Yes, okay. So I can click on the curve controller, press Control H, and hook to a new object. This creates a, this empty that I can use to control the curve, which is kind of cool. Now I can use this empty and parent it to some random object. Say the arm of the character. So I parented the arm of the character. Alright, let's... Look, it moves with the character now. I'm gonna turn off the wave thingy, so we can only see the effect from the thing. So yeah, you can see how the edge of the curve is moving with the character, and we can use this to our advantage. First of all, let me just move this back a bit, and then rotate it like this, so it's in this direction. Okay, move it down a bit. Okay. And then we're gonna use both. Sorry. We're gonna do the same disappearance method. We're gonna use as the speed lines, and we're gonna put a keyframe on where we want it to appear. Go back one frame. Press S. Press 0. Bam! It's gone for the first few frames, and then it appears in the second frame. Something I want to do is I want it to be a bit more like, this is extremely consistent. If you look at it across the whole thing, it's like there's wind everywhere. I want there to be like sometimes wind, sometimes not. So I wanted to flicker a little bit. And now in order to do that, I'm going to add some distortion with a noise texture. So I'm going to add in a new UV. Actually, I'm going to just duplicate the noise texture here. Add in a new, connect to the same mapping. This time I'm going to change the scale to from 1 to... Let me just check what this looks like. This is what it looks like. I'm going to change it from 5 to 1. I think 1 should be good. It's extremely large now. I'm going to set this to... I'm going to connect this. I'm going to connect this to a math node. Plug it in here. Plug the original one we actually... I'm going to plug the one without the multiply first. Right. And do this. The order kind of matters because you're... Actually, no, it currently doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter right now. So what I want to do right here is I want to use this noise texture to tell Blender which parts of it should be which parts of it should disappear. So I want to use multiply, not add, because multiplying it makes the parts darker, and darker means it's invisible. So I'm going to use a color ramp to increase the darkness of some of the parts. So let's go and see what this looks like first. It looks like nothing. If I switch this closer, now we have dark parts. So when I connect this here and I move this here, now this part used to have wind right here. But now when I connect this, it doesn't have wind. And you can see there are some areas that just does not have wind. And that's how I'm planning on doing this. To increase the frequency, I increase the scale. So the higher the scale, the more often we'll get it. And turn off the roughness, turn off the distortion. There we go. Yep, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I think that's the final effect for our... Oh, just put it in here, of course, and then put the multiply, so we can get to reduce the opacity. Let it compile. I'm gonna give it like a dusty color. It's a bit brownish, dark. Okay, we can't see it because it's not... Okay, whoa, that is extremely dark. I'm gonna... Or not dark, but like unsaturated. Let's do this. There we go. Lower the saturation, make it a bit more white. Yeah, there we go. Now we have wind. Woo. Yeah, and this is going to be the same thing we're going to use for the final, like, dust explosion thing here. Because I'm going to have it, like, spiral out, like you know, an explosion. When you have an explosion, you have a bunch of dust, like, permeates circular in a circular fashion from the center, and I'm gonna have that here. You can use the same node setup for that in here, which is kind of cool. So that's 2 birds, 1 stone. Let's get another look at this. Turn off the bones. All right. Excuse me, I need to drink water. Ooh, that's good. I lied, I drink Pepsi. Anyway, moving back. What's next in the agenda? First of all, we need this to disappear. Right here, size 0, and it's gone now. So now, what else? There's not much effects here. I want some camera shaking, but I'll do the camera shaking a little bit later.
Do you do these blue lines often, or just today so you could show us how you've done it? Actually, this is like, I think the first time, not the first time, the third time I've used the annotation tool. I don't actually use it regularly because I don't have a bunch of fight scenes that need direction like that, but it's very useful to use the annotation tools. If you want to, I don't know if you were here when I selected it, but basically you just click on here. You can draw. Oops. Why can't I draw? Oh, it's because I locked it, yeah. So you can draw. And it, like, if you have the auto keying on, you can actually, like, add keyframes. So it's this in one frame, you go to the next frame, make it like this. So now it, like, animates it, which is kind of cool. Very useful if you want to, like, it's extremely useful if you're helping someone else out. Right? So you have someone else send you a blend file of their animation, and you want to explain. You want to explain to them like, I want your character to move in this direction. You can literally draw it in Blender, in the camera, and it's kind of cool. Should you use it? Depends. I think it's kind of useful if you're reviewing an animation. So let's say you finish like an animation, and you wanna like do like a proof check to see if it looks good, or you're a director and then one of your animators sent you their finished animation and you want to give them feedback. Using the annotation tool is very nice, and also I like using it to draft out effects because like it's nice, right? Also, it's also like practice for 2D effects as well because I kind of want to be able to do that sometime in the future. But yeah. Alright, what was I going? Yeah, so what's next, right? So there's gonna be camera shaking a little bit here, right? Because there's impacts on the ground, and it feels very static right now. But if I have the camera shaking after each impact, it might look good. Here's something we need to do, and it's a smear frame. Smear frames are extremely important if you're animating in really low frame rates because that's one of the ways you can convey motion and smoothness. I think I might be bullshitting, but I like the look of smear frames on like still images. So what you do here is actually really, really simple. I'm gonna add in a new collection. I'm gonna call this smear collection. Smear collection. So with with like usual characters, like if you see normal not human characters, I guess, like let's take like Spider-Man, right? The Into the Spider-Verse, they have like their own mesh for it, their own model, right? It's like one whole model, really well modeled. The topology is amazing. So what they do is like they just go in here. Oops, I can't even show it to you because my rig is built for it. So they just go into edit mode. They add a shape key, like somewhere here. Yeah, they add a shape key, and they just pull vertices, and that creates a smear frame. I can't do that in Minecraft or in my rig because my rig works based on lattices, and the lattices kind of like fuck up the deformations, or not the deformations, the smear frames. So I can't do that here. What I can do is I found a different method of doing this, and it's like select all the body parts that need to be smeared. So in my case, the hair is probably going to be smeared. This is probably going to be smeared. The legs are probably going to be smeared a little bit, not that part, and then most likely the weapon as well. I'm going to shift deduplicate all of them. I'm gonna move them to the smear collection. I'm gonna just hide everything else so you can see. So this is my smear objects, right? It doesn't have to be everything. It just needs to be the objects that are outlining the direction of the smear. So in our case, in this frame, I want the smear to be in, I marked it in the blue lines, right? So these objects are the only things that are in contact with the blue lines. So these are the only objects. The more objects you have, the more like problematic it'll become. So I would recommend you using the smallest number of objects possible. Next up, you select all of them, and you go. Okay, I have a shortcut for this because I made a quick favorite for it. But you want to change them. You want to convert the objects to mesh. You can do this manually by going right click, convert to mesh. What I did was I did this, and then I just right clicked and then add to quick favorites. So now whenever I press Q, I can just convert them to a mesh. What this does is I think it applies all the modifiers. I do not think it applies the parents. Let me just double check if it applied the parents. Does it clear parents? It does not clear the parents, so do be reminded that it does not clear the parents. So this thing will still move as normal. What you want to do is you want to Alt key clear and keep transformations. So this will remove the parent, but it'll stay in position. You should do this for all of them. This is assuming you want to reuse the same smear frame, but you're most likely not going to. So now I think most of them have removed. Yeah, most of them I removed their parents. So this one, I guess. Okay, now they're all parentless. They're all parentless. So now what I do is I just Control J, and now it's one. That's one mesh. We go into edit mode. Now I can move this without like the whole. I can move this without any interference of the lattice. What I tend to do is I just subdivide once first. What is this? I'm gonna remove that because I don't need it.
I'm gonna subdivide once first. Oh shh. Ooh no. Back up, back up, back up. There you go. Back here. Before I do anything, I'm gonna. Yeah, I need to remove all of these keyframes because I joined it to the wrong object. Yeah. So here, you know the spear frame is right here. I'm gonna delete this as well. Wait, no, do I need that? Ooh, I might need that actually. Wait, I deleted the wrong thing. Shoot. Sorry. Let me go back. Yeah, okay. I think I might have deleted the wrong thing. We're good for now, though. So this... What was this? Okay. I might have fucked up. I'm gonna delete this. Get all the rigs back together. Duplicate this. Move it to the smear collection. Okay. Oops. What is this? Why did you go there? Oh no, I'm breaking my animation. Sorry about this. Let me just put you here. Okay. So as I was saying, first I'm going to convert it to a mesh, turn off the parents. Same here. I'm gonna join it to this instead, so all the keyframes kind of die out. And I'm gonna join it with the rest of the mesh as well. Join, good there. Join, we're good there. Okay. Now subdivide. You can subdivide it more times, but the more times you subdivide it, the more laggy your scenes get. So I would stop at 1. If you're strong enough, you could go 2. But that 1, I think 1 is all we need right now. So with 1, I'm going to go into edit mode, select vertices, and I'm just going to select some random points on the mesh. I'm going to go to proportional editing, enable it, and I'm going to go to random, and I'm going to drag some of the things in to the right side. Boom. I'm going to set the shading to flat so it doesn't look bad. And I'm going to then also move it away from the camera a bit. So backwards, away from the camera. I'm going to go do some smearing here. So, okay. I think in this case, I might want more subdivisions just to make the things look a bit better. Yeah, right. That looks a bit better. So I'm going to grab the edge of each pixel. Right here. Move it to the right. And this constitutes our smear frames. I'm gonna do a bit more here. It's in okay. We should make sure you shade flat so it looks natural. And then I'm gonna put back the things. And now that you moved it slightly back, right? You move it back a bit so you don't overlap the objects, or else it'll be in front of the mesh and it'll look extremely weird like this. I mean, this works too, but I like doing it behind them. Actually, wait, no. That might actually look better. Never mind. Don't listen to me. You can put it in front. It actually looks kind of nice. However, there's a bunch of things you need to delete because you really only want the smear frames or like the smear areas. So all of this can actually just be deleted. So I went to edit mode and I toggled in X-ray. It's Alt Z apparently. So if you Alt Z, you can toggle X-ray. Press C to get like a brush to select, and then delete vertices. And now we have nice smear frames. Alright, question. What if I do this in AE with the wave effect? You can technically do it in AE with the wave effect, but it's not going to be... I like this to me, this is much more accurate to the mesh. Because it uses the actual mesh. And it also uses the colors perfectly. That's why I like doing it in Blender. But you can technically... There's nothing stopping you from doing this in AE. It's just in AE, the background will also bleed into it. And you might want that, you might not want that. I personally want, in this specific scene, I want only the character to be smearing and not the background. Because the background is stationary. If the background is smearing, it might look like your camera is moving, but in this case, my camera is not moving, so I'm not going to do that. And now we're just going to do the disappearance effect again. So I need it to appear in these 2 frames. So the frames before that and the frames after that is gone. So it's very like subtle, but it'll make a difference. Yep. And there's also one more. Actually, I think I can extend this further. So I'm gonna duplicate right here. I can just move the smear like this. Yep. So we still see the smear right here. And then I also need to smear this. Right there. I can do one more. Right there. Yep. And this is the smear we're gonna get for this scene. Yep. There we go. We got it. Let's go back a bit. I want to see from the beginning. Yeah, alright, there we go. So that's the smear frame. Next up is the difficult part, which is because I wanted to do I wanted her to have a chain that she uses as a grappling hook to reach her enemy. And I've already like animated the chain via annotation, so I know the exact position that it has to be in. But I actually have to put the curves down, and I'm going to use curves for this obviously because that's the only thing you can use for this. I'm going to use a curve as the base, and then I use that curve to basically I have the curve as the base, and then I put an object on the curve, duplicate it over and over again using the array modifier, and then I use that as the visual chain. So there's like, so basically in this case the curve that I'm going to be using is going to be a Bezier curve. The Bezier curve is just going to be I would say like the bones. So Bezier curve. I'm going to hook. I'm probably going to be needing multiple parts of this. So I'm going to make 4 parts. Right. So we have 4 parts to this. I'm going to straighten them out just to make this easier for me. I still have this on. I'm going to turn that off. Yeah. So put this in the center. Okay. So this is it's been a really long time since I've used chains or curves to animate. So are you good with drawing from the start, or did you learn it? I did not. If you mean like drawing the effects, absolutely not. These are not good effects. I just know how to. It's not that I'm good at drawing. It's that I'm good at animating. As long as you know how it moves, you can draw it as badly as you want, and it'll be good. Because as long as it looks good when it moves, it doesn't matter how it looks when it's still. So I think it's just because I know how it looks when it's animated, it's fine. It looks fine, but like, that's all I'm trying. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I'm not good at drawing. When I was drawing characters, I would trace them out. I'd get a 3D model, pose a 3D model, trace them out. I'm really bad with perspective. That's why I 3D animate, not 2D animate. So anyway, I'm gonna hook all of these into objects. Control H, hook, object. Oop. I think I hooked all of them into one object. Yes, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to hook each of them to a different object. There we go. So each of them are now hooked to a different object, and now I can move them freely. The only problem is this. It's extremely sharp, and that's because this it does not exactly. Okay, I'm gonna select all of these hooks to go into edit, to be editable in edit mode as well. So when I go to edit mode, I can see the hook. So this is a problem, obviously, and I'm not exactly sure because what it sees is this. This is what it sees. Okay, it has to be vector. So this is what it sees because these two aren't moving, which is a problem because I actually need them to move. Yeah, okay, so we have a problem here. So I can't do this method. In fact, I think I have a better idea. I'm gonna turn off all the hooks, delete these 2 objects, and I'm just gonna use I'm just gonna use 2 curve points because then I can. Because these 2 I can control. So if I just go back to the default position. Okay, so I go back to the default position. I hook this one. So it's hook. When I move this... Oh, actually, it doesn't work. Never mind. Damn, I thought I was smart. Yes, I'm not smart. Yeah. Okay. Now this is problematic. I actually forgot how I animated it. Shape keys is a way I could animate it actually. Yeah. You know what? Let's try use shape keys. Let's go back in. So let's start with the simple one. I'm lucky. I'm using. I'm doing it via. Doing it in the blocking stage or just using low frame rate makes things a lot more easier. So we're gonna start here. It's gonna go around her back like this. So this is the starting position. Yeah. Boom. So this is the starting position we're gonna need. Next, we're gonna move it here. To match the annotation. Add a bit more curve in. Okay, this is a 100, this is 0, and then I change the... I'm gonna make sure the shape keys are always set to constant. There we go. Alright. I need to make sure this is back here in the beginning. Alright, I'm gonna add another shape key. Right, I was gonna call this key 0. This will be the base right before we actually do anything. So I need this to be 0. I'm just gonna have it coil around his hand or her hand in the beginning. Right, like this. Set this to 1 keyframe, move next to 0. Constant interpolation. And now we just follow the curve. 2. Oops. It's here, 1, 2 here. Yeah, I'm gonna duplicate. Can I duplicate? I can't duplicate. Alright. This back here. Increase the size. Much larger. Too large, I think, right now. Here's the second one. Move it up. Scale it. There you go. Oh, good morning, Entertainer. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing something different right now. I'm doing like a walkthrough tutorial thing. And I'm hoping I could turn this into a video, but I don't think it's possible, so I'm just gonna upload it as a VOD. Currently making or teaching you guys how to do 2D effects by doing one on my current animation. Set this to 0, set this to 1, go back a few frames, set this to 0. Yep, and that's how you can animate it frame by frame. If you want to, I used to be able to do this with bones. I forgot how. There's a video by Pierrick on how to do it. I'll link it somewhere in the description when it's over. If anybody wants the video right now, you can just ask, and I'll link it immediately. But if not, I'll link it in the description later. Okay, next one, right here. Side. Make sure this is 0. Here this is 1. 1, 2 back. 0 here. Okay. Now we just go straight. So we don't even need this to rotate back anymore. We just go right for the wherever the goal is. Like this. 1, 2. And here's the... Okay, now the cool thing here is that there's no difference between on the curve, so I can just duplicate, move, and rotate. Change the angle, 1, 2. Same here. Rotate, change the angle. Make sure it's stuck to her main arm. Move this a bit forward. As long as I keep the same angle, it's fine. 1, 2. And now here we have to change it again. So let's add a new keyframe. Start here. And here, rotate this like this. Okay, here's where we actually might need a lot more what is it called? Joints or control points, I think is what they call it. I'm gonna add more control points. I think this also is compatible with the keyframes. I hope. If it's not compatible, I have to redo everything. But I think it is compatible. I hope. Let's hope it's compatible. So move everything a bit outwards so I can see it, and then we'll correct later. Move this back here. Okay, I'm gonna make sure this is set to 1 and set to 0. Okay. Increase this here so it matches that. It goes forward, backwards, like this. That's fine. Okay. Back up. 0. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna have to do some editing here. So here's the beginning. Go all the way to the beginning here. Now we have these. If I delete these, they no longer appear here, which is annoying. Okay, yeah. So, I'm just gonna circumvent this problem by duplicating this. This is a cheat. I'm gonna duplicate, delete everything behind this, delete every single shape key, except the one I need, which is key 6, and then disappear in sec. And then here, for this one, I just delete everything else. So the beginning and the end, I delete. Oops. I don't actually know. Wait. Let's check this beginning. Okay. Yeah, I might have, yeah, there we go. Let's delete these two. And now, this one is fine. This one's a bit problematic, though. Key 4. What's key 4? Okay, key 4 needs to be, everything needs to be in constant. There you go. Yeah, and here I need to delete this in this frame. Boom, there we go. Now we are still working. And now from this point onwards, I just use this. So I'm gonna animate this to match the location right here, and then add in a new key. We start here. First rotation point is here, second rotation point is down here, third rotation point all the way in the edge. Now we fix the depth. Starts here is correct. Change the rotation point here. Doesn't have to be exact because it just doesn't have to be exact. Do this. Okay, here's something cool I can do. I can use the control points here and here to guide it towards the line. Here I just increase this a lot, and then here I move it downwards like this. Yeah, this is good enough. Maybe a bit more circular. Yeah. Back 0, 0, and then I think this might be the second last one. How much longer? Until I finish all the effects. So pretty long. Maybe I'd give it 1 more hour, probably. Maybe an hour and 30. Really depends on how fast I'm able to do this. But most of the effects are technically done. After this, we just need to recreate the wind effect, but in a circular fashion. And after that, we have some camera shakes and impact frames, which is most likely the most important thing, because a lot of people want to know how to make impact frames. And we're gonna do impact frames in After Effects.
The longer the better for me, because now it's daytime, so I can just want to say on. Indeed, yeah. It's currently 3 a.m., middle of the night. I just came back from my night shift, and I couldn't sleep, so I'm like, I really want to animate, so here we are. Alright, so the final one starts here, second one is there, third one is here, fourth one is here. Let's make sure everything follows the curve. Put this right in the middle. Increase the radius here, increase the radius here. And the last one, put it right there, increase the radius here. Yep. The line is extremely not smooth. You can increase it by increasing the resolution, preview U, or you can add in a subdivision surface modifier here. Up to you. This depends on what you want to use. Subdivision surface can be toggled off using simplify, so I think that's like a better way to do it. All right. What was I doing again? Right, this. Again, I need all of this to be. Lock this again. I'm gonna make this constant. Whoa, why is it weird? Suddenly weird. Wait a minute. I don't remember doing this. Wait. Oh, it's because of okay, that makes sense. So this is the end. 1, 0, constant. Oh yeah, there's also sparks in the end. I'll teach. Okay, and then the final one here is actually very, very easy. One here, one here, one here, one here. Rotate some of these bits and bobs. Right there, right there, right there. And this is the tail. Set this to 1, back up 0. And this 0 as well, constant. Let's check this out without... Oh, I can't. Well, I can always preview this using offset. No, bevel. Let's use bevel. So now we can see the curve. This as well. Increase the depth. Now I don't have to use the annotation to see what it looks like. Yep. It's just, it appears here, so I just need to make sure it disappears. Oh, wait. That's 0. There you go. Yep. Okay, what happens here? A bit closer. There you go. Make some corrections. This is key 4. I think this is just a translation. Right there. Also rotate it a little bit, move it into position again. 1, 2. Move it back to this because this was the other, not this one. This one. Nope, this one. Down, up, no, up is, I think it's fine. Keep it here. Okay. Yeah, alright, that's good. Now, let's actually change this curve into an object. I'm going to be using chains to do that. Pretty simple. I'm just going to model a chain right here, right now. Actually, I'm going to use a plane. Subdivide. I'm going to take like this. Separate.
I want to center it at the middle of all the faces. Okay, what I basically did there was change the origin to the 3D cursor after I control Shift S, set the cursor to the center of everything. I think the actual way you do this is you go top left, you go to view, select mesh. I think it's mesh somewhere. Actually, I actually have no idea. I think you go object. There we go. Yeah. So you go object mode, click on the top left, object, set origin, and then you have a bunch of like options. You can set to center of mass, center volume. You can set it to the geometry, which I don't know what it does. Set it, and then you can also set the geometry to the origin. I'm not sure what most of these does. I know center of mass is like the center of mass. If you take physics, you'll know what that is. It's like the center of gravity of the object. And then we have origin to 3D cursor, which is the one I use. So I place my 3D cursor somewhere in the world, and then I'll snap the origin point to it, and it's much easier because I can always like if I want it to be in the center of a face, like in between these two faces, I select both faces, Shift S, cursor to selected, and it'll take the midpoint between the two faces, which is nice. So if I want it to be here, I can make it here, even better. I think I might want it to be a bit. I want it to be on this vertex actually, because it's gonna duplicate itself. So now we have the base of the chain. I'm gonna go and add a modifier, solidify modifier. 0 thickness 0.1. Maybe 0.2. Yep. So we have this. I'm going to add in a curve modifier now. Deform curve. And then I set the curve to Bezier curve. And now, I'm pretty sure it has to be in the same position as the... Yeah, okay. So you have to parent this to the curve, first of all. Parent, done. Change the deform axis. I think my correct one is -x is the correct one for me right now. I'm going to scale it down so it's not too large. And then I'm going to click, I'm going to put in a generate array modifier. Right? I'm going to make it fit the curve, and it's going to curve over this. And the relative offset, relative offset, but x, it's not in the x direction. I need it to be in the y direction. Yes, so -1 on the y. Can I also... Okay, wait, there's also one problem with this, and it's that I need the chains to rotate. So I actually need 2 of these. I'm gonna duplicate, move it down once, make it touch, and then I'm gonna rotate it 90 degrees. Now I have like these like interlocking chains, which is good. Welcome back, Luke. How much have you missed? You missed the smear frames, and I think you missed me making curves, which is I think not that bad. Besides, the VOD is here anyway if you want to rewatch it. Okay, so now that I have this, I'm pretty sure this is the wrong axis I'm using. Or maybe it's the... Okay, it's the order that's wrong. Okay, this is it. Set Alt scale to reset the scale. Now all I need to do is just change the scale of the chains, make them smaller, and bam, make it a bit more smaller. And set the solidify modifier in the end, lower it to 0.1, maybe even lower. Yep, smaller. Okay, so this is basically it. Yes, however, the problem is it's not following the curve exactly. I'm not sure why actually. Is it because I'm rotating it? Z, Y, X. No, I'm actually not sure why the curve isn't perfect. Probably should troubleshoot and find out why. My guess is that there's a slight change in this. No, there isn't. Well, it's not that big of a deal, so I think I can live with this, honestly. No, I can't. Okay, because of this, I can't. I actually can't. Ooh, this is bad. Let's see what it looks like this time. It doesn't look bad, honestly. It's just that this is displaced, which is a little annoying. Because if I go tab, it is in the right position when I go tab. Okay, wait, I need to... I kind of want to fix this, because this is a very big issue if it's not in the exact position it needs to be. Okay. It's because it's not going to the same position as the chain itself. Okay, so I have a nice quick fix for this, I think. I'm gonna turn off auto key. I'm gonna go Alt G, Alt R. So I reset the position of the chain. Now I can change the position of the what is this? I can change the position of the chain relative to the curve. So the curve is it's at the origin. Honestly, I just Alt G. Okay, wait, no, I fucked it up. Oh shit. Alright. So I Alt G, Alt R. So this is set at the origin, no keyframe, so it's gonna snap back to normal if I don't do anything. I'm gonna clear the parent on the chain. Now I'm gonna Alt G, Alt R. And now it's in the correct position. Now I parent it to the chain, and I just change the deform angle, or the deform axis. Z, X, Y. Negative Y. And now it's perfect. Oh, I am such a genius. There we go. Now that that's done, I can delete the chain. Or not delete the chain, I can make the chain just a chain. Or not the chain. What am I saying? I need to make the curve hidden. There we go. Now the curve is hidden. And we can only see the chain. The chain will snap back in 3, 2, 1. Bam. It snaps back because I did not change the thing. We still have some... Ooh. We still have some problems, actually. I wonder why. We shouldn't actually be having this problem. Weird. Okay, oh, it's because I think it's because I didn't... It's because I didn't I didn't set the location. Anyway, now that I set the location, everything should be fine. I'm gonna decrease this slightly... a bit more. And then make the chain length and the chain size smaller, because I don't want the chains to be too long. And now they have chains. Math. I don't like math. Math is fine, bro. You'll be fine. You don't need that much math. Okay, so there's still some problems. There's very big problems over here. You are still moving away from the curve. Why are you not moving with the curve? Wait, I'm actually very confused. I'm gonna go and cheat. I'm gonna use an object constraint, copy location, copy root. Actually, not even that. I'm just gonna go copy transformations. And I'm gonna copy the curve, Bezier curve. So now this will always have the same... Yeah, okay, that I fixed it. I don't know why the parenting isn't working. Keyframes? That's the question about. You're gonna have to use more words, Luke. I can't answer if you just say keyframes question mark. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now in this case, I think it's definitely too thin. So I'm gonna increase the thickness just a bit. There we go. So we have one, we can do the other one as well. So this one's pretty simple. I'm just going to duplicate, change this from Bezier curve 1 to Bezier curve 2, change the this one from Bezier curve 1 to Bezier curve 2. Where is it now? Oh, whoa, you are in the middle of nowhere. Can I fix that? No, apparently I can't. Let me turn off the... You still parented? Yeah, you are still parented to 1. No. Why are you up here, sir? Okay, you're in the origin now, and now I just need to turn this on, and you'll be here, right? No? Okay, I might have made an oopsie. Plane 024. This is plane 027. Okay, he's back.
I meant like, could the problem be the keyframe?
Oh, okay. No. Yes, I think the problem was no, it wasn't keyframes because I tried the keyframe thing. It was definitely it's just not like moving. Anyway, why are you in the wrong position? I'm gonna turn off this. Okay, now you're back here. You're not actually copying the correct place. Bezier curve 2. Is it not Bezier curve? It is Bezier curve 2. I need you to follow the constraints, bro. Copy transforms Bezier curve 2. Why are you there? That's not where Bezier curve 2 is. Okay, I'm a little confused. Are you parented to something? You're not. You should be in position. No? I'm gonna do this. Pair this to this. Make sure it has the curve modifier. Right before that, put this here. There we go. And negative y. Fit curve 2. You're not fitting properly, actually. Can we change that? Oh, right. Oh, it fits now, so now I just decrease the size here. Bit more. Yeah. Bigger. There we go. Now let's change the thickness to this. This is perfect. Okay, now should work. Just in case, I'm going to add in another copy transform. Here, copies the Bezier curve 2. Oh, now it works. Okay, great. Okay, but it's wrong though. Because it's I needed to copy I'm gonna copy the location. I'm gonna copy the rotation, but not the scale because the scale needs to be custom. Because it's not, for some reason, it's not making it all the way to the other side. And I already lost it. Lovely. Where did it go? Oh no, it's right there. It's just really small. Increase the scale to this. Yeah. There we go. Now we got it. Okay, it works now. Take the curve and turn off the depth. Yeah, alright, that's another one done. How many effects have we done already? We did the speed lines, we did this, the wind. Camera shake is next. We did smear frames right here. Actually, I want to do a bit of a change here because I noticed that the skin is popping out and I don't want that to happen. So I think this, yeah, this, and then I just, oopsie, select the skin and then remove this from the selection and just delete the insides. There we go. Now it's kind of perfect. Kinda. So next up, let's do camera shake. Camera shake. I cheat when I camera shake, so I have an add-on called the Camera Shakeify. I don't know if it's free or not. I got it from someone. I think I got it from Zero. But it's pretty useful, honestly. So let's go. Let's take this one, right? So I want like a bit of shake here because we're like running. Say at 101, add a camera shake. I'm gonna set the influence to 1, move back, set it to 0 here because I don't want any influence in the back. So I'm gonna change the type of shake. Let's try walk to the store. Oh, wait, I think I put it on the wrong camera. No, I put it on the wrong camera. Okay. Uh-oh, no. Blender? Okay, that crashed. Save before it crashes. So we were 101, right? Yeah, 101. I already have some, keyframes on this, but... Where are you? Here? No, this one. Okay. So here it's... I'll set it to 1 just to exaggerate the effect. But this is basically what Camera Shakeify does. It shakes the camera, and it's really cool. So in this case, I want it to be a bit... I want the speed to be a bit fast. The problem is the value is very strong. So I'm going to lower the scale, increase the speed. Much faster, 3. Yeah, that's the perfect like running cam. Yeah, it's called Camera Shakeify. You should try it out. It's really cool. I don't know where I got it from. Let me search up, see if it's free or not. Camera Shakeify. Yeah, it's a GitHub, and I think it might be free. Yeah, it's CC0. It's under the general public use license or something like that. And like I think it's the same license that the Endertainer rig is on. So you should be fine if you want to use it. Alright. Let's move on. Let's turn it off here, and then right here, when the smear frame happens, there's gonna be a tiny like shake. And it's not good. I'm gonna add another Camera Shakeify right here. Lower the scale to 0.1. Increase the speed to 4. Change the influence to influence it only when she's like on her fastest, which is right here. And then it dies down a bit towards the end. And then there's going to be a bit of camera shake in the end as well. Right here. I think I'm going to change the type of shake as well. I think Walk to the Sword is really strong. So we can use that. Oh, wait, no. Oh, I'm just going to do it. Wait. This is a different camera. That's why it doesn't work. Okay. Now I know. So this one, right? Right here, at the impact, we want it to be max. It's gonna max out right here. Right before that, it doesn't do anything. I want to increase the speed so it's like shaky. There we go. So it's shaky. And then it dies off towards the end a little bit. Very fast. I need to die out very fast because I'm gonna do it. So it dies off here, and then when the wind comes in, I need it to shake again. Yeah, there we go. That's what exactly I'm looking for. That's too fast. Oh, that's... Let's do a bit of easing here. Hey, there we go. That looks nice. Alright, let's move on to the next part, which is camera shake in this. So I want there to be shake when these cubes hit the ground. So now I'm gonna make sure we select the camera correctly this time, right? I'm gonna add a new one, increase the speed, and then make this the handycam run because that's the shakiest one. It has the weakest scale, but the strongest speed, so it shakes quite fast. And now this is just basically like, if any of you do AE sync, this is literally just AE sync. So yeah, that's it. And then you just copy paste it whenever it impacts the ground. It's pretty strong though, so I'm gonna lower it to 2 maybe. And make this 0.5, just because it's... I don't want it to be too strong on the eyes. 5. 5. Right. Hey. Okay. So we're good. Next up, I guess, is Sparks, because Sparks is super easy to make. So, you want Sparks, like Sword Sparks, to appear right here. First things first, let's just make the Spark Particle. For me, Spark Particles are always the same. I should be saving it as like a piece, as an asset, but it's so simple to make that I don't. So I take a circle and I size it down. And this is my sparkle. Sparks. I'll call it Sparks. So this is my spark thingy. This is the particle that I'm going to be using to make the sparks. I'm going to give it a material, emission, yellow, maybe orange a bit, and then increase the emission. We don't have bloom anymore, which is kind of sad, so I'm going to try use the compositor to make it glow a bit. Compositor, video editing, I don't know what it is, general, compositing, yeah. So I'm just gonna add in a, what is it called, glare, put it in fog glow, threshold, let's lower the, no, I think this is actually fine, yeah. Yeah, there we go, it glows anyway. I think this glows too, but it's fine. So, I have the spark particle, now I just need to add in a sphere in the center of the collision, which is right here. Go to modifiers, add in a particle system, go in. First, they need to note when the collision happens, right here. 263 is the first instance of the collision, so you go 263 after the start frame. Let's lower the number from 1000 to 100, so you don't need that much. Let's add some time here so we can find out when this stops. We want it to stop like right here, 281, because that's when I want them to like separate. So 281, between 263 and 281 we have sparkles, and you can see that it's already like, you know, kind of working, but it's all falling down and it's not supposed to be falling down. I'm gonna just reduce the amount of sparkles first. I'm gonna go down to the render tab, change halo into object, and change object into sparks. This way we have our actual particles being emitted. Next, I want the random scale to be pumped up, so there's different sizes of particles. And then now we go to the physics tab, no, rotation tab. Yeah, rotation. You want to enable rotation and enable dynamic rotation, so it aligns itself with the direction it is supposed to go in. I think that is, yeah. So you can see how it's like, when it starts, it's always pointing away from the impact point, which is right the center of our circle, which is exactly what we want, but it's like falling down because of gravity. So what we do is we go down to our field weights, sorry, and we just turn off gravity. This way it does not get affected by gravity. So if I show you, that's what it looks like. Yep. And what we next need to do is, this is how I do sparks. Increase the lifetime a little bit. Go to velocity, increase the velocity of the normal by like twice, so it just pops out. Actually, you can probably go higher, 5. Yeah. Next, after velocity, you go to physics and you increase the damp coefficient. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Probably could increase the lifetime a little bit more, add a bit more particles, 50. There we go. Next, after this is, we want it to be a bit wavy, you know, because there's gonna be wind, so I expect the sparks to be, you know, they kind of, let me annotate this. So instead of going straight, oh, I knocked it. So instead of going straight, it would probably go like, kind of like this, like, you know. Originally it was going like this, which we don't want, but we don't want it to go in a straight line as well, because that's like unrealistic when we think of all the forces that's happening.
because we have a wind effect as well. So in order to do that, you just add in a force field. Or the way I would do it is I would add a force field. There's other ways you can do it, but I'd add a force field, make sure it's turbulent force field. And you go to this effect settings. I think like 5 is a good starting point. Increase the noise amount. There's no need for the noise amount, but it's nice to have. Wind factor might be important, but I don't think it's important for us right now. So let's see what it looks like right now. Yeah, so it's kinda... you know, like, doing its thing. It's kind of fine. I think I might want to decrease the size of the turbulent force, or not the turbulent force, but the turbulent force field size, so it like is more sporadic. Yeah, kind of like that. Also, the strength is quite strong. Yeah, now we just need to lower the lifetime because it's surviving for too long. Yeah. Now it like bursts out, floats a little bit, and then disappears into nothing. We can increase the lifetime randomness as well just to give it more feel. So let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna add in a mask modifier in front under my particle system so that the original sphere is like gone. And then I'm gonna bake the particle simulation. And now let's see what it looks like. Yep, that's good. One more thing is that as the right here, right, when we zoom out, the particles become less noticeable. So I want like one last burst of particles right as we're zooming out, right here. I would say 279 to 280. I'm gonna add another particle system, copy the settings from this one, duplicate it, and just change this from 263 to 279 to 280. So 50 particles will explode in like instantly right here. So what it looks like is this. Can't see it because I'm going to increase the size of these particles. So it's going to be 0.25. Seems like they're all exploding from the same point as well, which is not exact. It just is not really what I want, but we'll fix that later. Velocity, increase it to 10, so it goes farther away. Yeah, okay, it's actually going on in the same direction. Let me just remake the particle system. Yeah, 280. Wait, 279. Wait, did I? No, okay, it's corrected. I was just 279, 280. Yeah. We go back to 7. Yeah. We just go in rotation, dynamic, velocity 10, render as an object, call it sparks. Render out all the sparks, increase the randomness. Okay, no, I think this just doesn't work. So I'm gonna, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna duplicate the emission object, give it number 7. Yeah, okay, so I guess you just can't have 2 in the same one. Woohoo, that is extremely bright. Let's go 6. Yeah, there we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Yep, and you can see the like explosion right there. And I'm gonna make it last for 2 more frames longer. I'm gonna increase the particle amount to, let's say, 125, and then I'm going to increase the velocity from 11 to 20. In addition to this, I kind of want to add more damping, or sorry, drag. So what drag does is basically the larger the particle is, the less it travels. So the smaller particles go farther, and the larger particles stay in the center, and gives you like a nice gradient. So this I think is look good. Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
I'm gonna try a different seed so we can get a different pattern. Yep, and that is good enough. I'm gonna bake that. I noticed we're getting a bit laggy. Simplifies on, so I guess we're just oh we have a posture on, that's why. Yep. It's looking nice. Next up, let's finish this off with the wind effect I was talking about, because we have it already here. In fact, actually, I kind of wanna let me go back right here. Yeah, so we have the wind effect here. I kind of want to duplicate it as well. Move it to the side right here. I just realized, but I think I might have accidentally converted this into an object. Doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to just size -1 and add another one on the other side. We have like two winds going in right here. I think there's a shading problem here. I'm gonna turn off specular. Increase the value of this a little bit. Oh, actually, what it would be perfect if I actually put it over here. Right here would be nice. So I'm gonna increase the size like this and keep it going like this. Need to move this as well, because this is not animated in this specific sequence. Yeah, so now we have wind here as well. It's a little fat though. I can always change it with the scale, so increase the scale. I think it's following the... It is very likely following the... Oh no, it's not. It's just extremely fat. Okay, yeah. Then we change the thing. Yeah, let's go much more. A bit farther and a bit faster. I think it's better if it's behind the character this time. Oh, it's also stopping right there because we ran out of space. So I'm going to like this. No, we're not gonna create a new one. We're gonna use the same one. So I'm gonna go and add in a... I could add... You know what? I'm gonna add in a circle. Circle curve. Right, let's start this. So circle curve, all you need to do is you go into your settings and you extrude. And now you have a cylinder, which you can use to expand the size of the shockwave. You can see how it works, right? It starts in the center and then you explode it out outwards. Now I'm gonna give it the same material as the thing we just made. Make material. And we go here, and you see it. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing, and it's so nice how it works out. And then I can make it spin like a tornado. I want it to be different though, because there is some differences we need. I don't need this to move, so I can duplicate this, put this here, make it a different one. This is so that the movement on here does not affect the movement of the noise texture, because I wanna use a different movement for this. And it doesn't have to be that strong, so I'm gonna, for now, I'm gonna mute it. Yeah, so now we're just using this. In this case, I would want to show the backside as well, so transparency overlap is needed. Now, watch as I show you some cool effects. So we start right here. Right here. That's where we start, right? I'm going to make it continuously loop around. So let's put in a keyframe here. This. And it's gonna keep on going like this. Alright, so we're here now. Now I'm gonna animate the transparency. It starts at 0. Because at first there's no force. And let me just, yeah, here we go. And then slowly it starts to appear. This is what it's gonna look like. And then when it appears, right here is the biggest right here. So I'm gonna use shape keys to animate this. The reason why is because if I use shape keys, the textures do not get deformed compared to when I do this, because it goes upwards as well. I don't want it to go upwards. I only want it to go outwards. Upwards, not outwards. And so for that, I need to use the shape keys. I mean, I can also do S Shift Z, but it's like a little annoying when I do that. Also, there's more keyframes. So right here, I need it to go all the way past. I'm gonna give it a tiny bit of thickness because we're gonna need it. So right here, it starts at 0. There's also I also just want this to be like this, and here we go. Right here, this is where we start animating this. This is where it's at its peak, right here. And then it blasts past the camera. Okay, and then in the end, it's going to slowly fade away into nothing. So here we have it at, I'd say we have it at its maximum. It would be 0.331, I guess. Okay, so now some things I want to change. It's very how do I say this? We can clearly tell it's a cylinder, right? So I kinda don't want that. I want to increase this. So by increasing the power, we make it less cylindrical and more like this. But this also means we need to make it a bit thicker, which I can easily do with a shape key. The power of shape keys is so strong. Increase this exponent is actually pretty fine. So this is now less cylindrical. You can still say it's a cylinder, but it's like it has a lot more bumps. I always need references to imagine this. Oh, I have watched so much anime, Rockstar. You have no idea. I have watched so much anime. That's why I can think of stuff like this, right? It's just I think of anime when I think about this. So yeah, it's just I just watch a bunch of movies, or like, you know, I mean, I guess if you're looking for these effects, you would want to either watch like animated films or extremely CGI heavy movies, I guess. But like, yeah, that's what I do. All my effects are just based on anime. So I don't make these up on the spot. So you know, I actually like when this specific smoke effect is I thought of it when I saw Konosuba's Megumin's explosion. And she like when she casts explosion, there's a big like, you know, sphere. I mean, if you want recommendations, but you act like you just made them up on the spot. Well, no. Okay, maybe I do act like I make them on the spot, but like it's like in my brain works on like on super hyper speed when I'm thinking of these shit. So it looks like I think of them on the spot, but I have careful thinking.
like whenever I think of an animation, the effects come with the animation, just so you know, right? So it's like a two-in-one deal. Yeah, so like recommendations, if you want like these cool effects, any anime with sword fights would definitely be worth watching. So, I mean, I guess fantasy would work. Action sequences, I guess you could say Jujutsu Kaisen has really good effects on it because it's closer to magic, and magic has magic looks. If you see magic, it's just there's a lot of shit you can imagine with magic. All right, yeah, but any fantasy or just action show would work. All right, let's go back to the beginning, see what it looks like. Okay, here's the thing. I want there to be like another sort of pattern, which is exactly why we're going to re-enable this. And we're gonna change this a little bit, change this a bit as well. Okay, so I want to move the x-axis so that I want it to match the thing I was thinking of. So right here is fine. Here I want it to be a bit more to the side. Keyframes, random keyframes would work. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Like I also don't think this was working a lot, so I'm just gonna delete it. Maybe I'll remake it again off screen, but it's not doing what I expected it to do. Oh, the wind effect. This is my first time doing that wind effect, you know? This is my first time doing it, and it looks so nice. I actually have never done this before. I'm gonna do a bit of I'm gonna animate this a bit more because of the impact. Because I didn't anticipate the impact originally when I was planning on streaming this. But now that I did it, I kind of need the animation to be slightly different. So I'm gonna add one or two more extra frames of just the recoil from the hit. Okay, that's kind of annoying, so I'll just do it here. What is the running animation? Do you animate them or do you have like an animation? I animated that on the spot. Always. I always make it like a goal to animate the like any run or walk cycles always like each scene has its own walk or run cycle because I actually have a problem with consistently making good looking walking animations. So I've just told myself you're gonna animate every single walk scene over and over again until you understand what you're doing wrong. Not because it's a good thing, it's because I want to learn how to do it properly. Because I feel like I'm doing it wrong sometimes. Like sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks horrendous. I'm better at making run animation than I am for making walk animations. Actually, my walk animations are kind of shit sometimes. So yeah, I made that run cycle on the spot. Actually, this morning.
right before I went to work. I had like 3 hours before going to work. So I was like, I'll do some animating. And then, yeah, then I did the run animation. Yep. Alright, before we continue, I wanna give this a material. Emission shader. Orange, make it bright. Uh-oh, it's lagging again. What was it? Material 7. Whoa, why am I getting laggy? That's weird. I have metal on. I'm gonna turn that off. There you go. I should turn that off completely. It's like having 3 recordings running at once. What am I doing? Metal is quitting. Is safely quitting. Alright. Oh, I forgot to remove you. I think I'd show you guys some behind the scenes as well. I want to show you how it looks like out of the camera. There you go. Well, I don't actually... The only time she runs is actually in like this shot. This is the only time she actually runs. Every other time she's moonwalking. You're right here. She's not moving. It's just the background is moving. And I learned to do this in when it was the Eve Flower Storm recreation video. Because I couldn't get... I was trying to do like a run cycle. But I couldn't get the camera to properly follow the character and also match the original enough. So instead, I made her run in the same position. I just moved her throughout. I just moved, like, the camera is stationary, and instead of moving, you know, the body stays still. The only thing that's moving is like the legs and the root bone. So if I hide the root bone, right, or if I disable the root bone, sorry. She does not. This is her movement. She just goes up and down. With the root bone, she has like a bit of movement on the side as well, and front down. And then the background is the only thing that's moving. But this is only good if you don't have much background. No, this is actually good if you have as long as you have like a controllable background. Let's say you have like a Minecraft world. You parent it to one thing. So let's say all of this, right? All of these blocks. As long as you can parent it to one object, so like if I parent it to this, and then I move this backwards, it's totally fine. It's actually totally fine. Because you cannot, you as a viewer cannot tell the difference between if the character is moving through the background or the background is moving through the character. It's like a physics law, right? It really doesn't matter if the background is moving or the character is moving. So you as the animator should just choose which one is easier to animate. In some instances, it is easier to move the character. In some instances, it's easier to move the background. That's why I moved the character in this shot. Let me just... Yeah, let's go back. So in this shot, it's easier to move the character because the camera is stationary and I want the character to always be on screen. So instead of having the character... Sorry, instead of having the camera follow the character, I'll just have the camera and the character stay still. So I don't have to have the extra problem of tracking. And then I can just move the background back. Compared to this scene, where like it is actually impossible for me to animate the background to move in like this direction. It is not possible. So in this shot I would just make the character move. Get it? So yeah. Alright, before we continue, there's a bit of things I want to add. The last thing we have to do before I end this is some After Effects things. So I'm going to teach
you guys how to do lens flares or how I do lens flares. You're gonna need a few plugins that you might not all of you might have. Video Copilot is one of them, and Sapphire is the other one. So those are the two main effects I use. So first of all, before we continue, I want to add a bit more detail on the scene. First thing I noticed was this needs a bit of follow through at the very end. So right at the end, I need one extra key. So I'm gonna move it like this. It doesn't exactly matter how I do it. It's just that there's here another rotation right there. So it goes like this. Yep. It's to 1, to 0, back up. That is to 0, make sure everything is constant. Yep, we need just a bit more room in the end. And then next up is the chain that shouldn't appear from. Oh, actually, wait. There's one more thing I want, and that her hand actually must have a chain. There must be a chain wrapped around her hand as well. So I'm just gonna take this, duplicate it, delete all of these stuff. Put this around here. Actually, wait, not everything. Delete the curve only. There we go. And then around her hand, wait, she also has a turn this off and turn this off. And I'm just gonna have her have a bunch of chains around her hand. It's actually like this is where the chains are coming from. And then select all 4 of these chains and parent it to the wrist. I think is the best place to parent it to. Yep. And so now if you go in the beginning, you can see she has chains in her hand. Yeah, there you go. This stream is full of learning and stuff, and I'm like, yes, it is learning time. You are a little late, Siberian. I was doing a bunch of Blender effects. However, you are just in time for the After Effects portion. So that's a good thing, I guess. To recap what we all did, though. To recap what we did this class, I guess. We made wind effects, which is the one you see right here. Oh, let's go back. We learned how to do the wind effects right here. We also learned how to do speed lines on the ground. You can see the speed lines right here. We learned how to do camera shake. With a plugin, obviously. We learned how to do smear frames right there. I actually did not teach you. I mean, I didn't know how to do this before, but I just did it on the spot. So I taught you guys how to do this chain effect. It's like nice chain effect. We talked about particles and we talked about more wind. So yeah. It's not even a mesh trail, bro. It's just a curve that I... It's a curve that I... what is it? Right here, right? It's just a curve. It's just... It doesn't really move. I made a custom shape for the curve and... yeah, it's covered earlier. I think it's like it's the first thing... It's the second thing I did. So you'll find it in like 20 minutes maybe. If you zoom back, sorry, if you go back, it's probably like the 20-minute mark. I'll probably re-upload this as a video and then like add timestamps and like cut the video down or something. But yeah, so this is it's not even mesh fields. This is just a shader, a pretty simple shader, honestly. This is all it is. And then it's a curve object. So I made a curve. You can't see the curve now for some reason. I think it's because I converted it into an object, but it's just a curve with a material pasted on it. And the speed odds is the same thing. It's actually just an overlay. It's an overlay, if you look at it. So it's also based on materials. And then yeah. Right,
Right, so before we continue to the actual After Effects part, I need to do some things. First of all, I'm gonna increase this size. Okay, how much did I increase it by? Size 2. Yeah, let's increase the size by 2, and then increase this size by 2 as well, just to compensate. There you go. In addition to that, I want to add in some lore things. So right here, I want to go to my crystals pack that I made. Crystal. Add in every single crystal, I guess. No, I only need chrome. I need chrome and I need amber. No, not amber. Is it amber? It's topaz. It's topaz. These are the two I need. So this is the normal. This is the one she uses. Right here. Put in as a necklace piece. This is simply for lore reasons that I'm doing this. And it's like this as well. This needs to change its hue to a purple color. Nice dark purple. Ooh, actually, you know what? Before we go, I think before we go to After Effects, I think I can teach you guys one more effect, and it's like a reveal effect, shader effect, and I think it's really cool to learn. Okay, so I want the sword to not just like pop into existence, right? I want it to like fade from left to right. And here's a cool way you can do this. So you have your sword here, right? I want you to click on the sword, add in a empty, a plain axis is fine. Go to the sword material, duplicate the texture coordinate, and set the object to the empty that you just created, right? And let's just take out the object coordinates and connect it to the material output and see what it gives us, right? So if we do this, oopsie, it's on the wrong slot. It's on this katana slot. So let's put this object into here. Now notice how I have like material color data that I can control using this empty. Now what can I do with this? I'm gonna use a separate XYZ node so I can get a certain direction. So now we have a gradient that goes from left to right. Well, I can make the sword appear from left to right. If let's say the white is invisible and the black is like visible, I can make it go like this. So what I do is, first I'm gonna make it look cool. So in order to do that, I'm gonna add in a color mix node. Mix color node. Put it right between object and separate XYZ. I'm gonna put in a noise texture. And what this does is it gives me cool noise texture. I'm gonna add in a different object for this. What I'm basically doing here is I'm telling it to use the object, the sword itself, as a UV, as a okay, this is gonna be difficult to explain. So in this, the actual sword uses a UV texture. The like invisible appearing effect is going to be using the empty as an object texture, but the noise texture is going to be controlled by the sword's object coordinates. So it's very confusing, but hopefully that kind of went into your brains. So the point of this is to make it not like sharp. So we have like a fade effect instead of like a straight line. You get me? So I'm going to turn off normalize so this will center in the middle. All right, lower this as well. Increase this, make the distortion a bit more so we get like some cool patterns. Increase the roughness, increase the detail. There we go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this as a mask to get our change our alpha. Right, look at this. It's like, okay, it's extremely wide, and I need to fix that. Which is the direction I need to change it in. I need to change it in the Y direction. So I'm gonna size it down in the Y direction, so I get a more sharper transition. I'm gonna go down into materials and change the render method from Wither to blended, because blended is just better in Eevee. Yeah. There's a bunch of like blocks over there. I'm gonna merge by distance to kind of try and remove it. I think I can also fix it by turning off transparent overlay. Yeah, there we go. So now it's like a ghost sword. I also want it to appear from the right side towards the left side, not from the left to the right. So this is what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna make it a bit more, just a little bit more. There you go. There's a bit of, you can see there's a bit of noise there. I can probably make it a bit more obvious. Like this, yeah. In addition to this, I want the edges of it to glow. So this is the confusing part. So I'm gonna put a color ramp here, and so this is gonna show us what it looks like. I'm gonna make a color ramp, and I'm gonna put another color ramp. So we have two color ramps now. I'm gonna make one of the color ramps end earlier. Or wait, no. Like this, I think, is what I'm looking for. I'm not actually sure. Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna make one of the color ramps end earlier. And then what? No. 1 second. I need to like do some math over here. Yeah, I'm gonna make one of the color ramps end earlier, and I'm gonna use a math node in the middle, and I'm going to subtract. Hit clamp as well because I want the values to clamp. Now I have the center. What I basically have is the center of the effect, or like the in between of the. This is the boundary between the non-transparent and the transparent side. And what I can do here is I can just plug this into the emission strength. I plug the color into the original sword texture, add in a math vector or math node right before the strength, so I can control the strength. BSDF to surface. Let it compile. And we have... Boom. I can make it glow now. Yeah, look at that. I think I need to change this a little bit more. Yeah, just like this. And then I think I can move this back as well. Yep. I like this. So now, the way I animate this is I put a keyframe here. Let's go back here. And all I need to do is just need to move it to the side. And it just magically appears. The sword magically appears instead of just like, you know, coming into existence. You have an RTX, I have an RTX 3070. 3070 Ti to be exact. Oops. Bit laggy. Yeah, there we go. How much does it take to render a frame? Well, if you want this frame, I guess we can try that out. Let's go Eevee cycles. I'm gonna put like a sky texture, I guess. Should. Let's get like a sky texture. Plug it in right here. So this is what my usual setup would be. Let's turn this off, and then I'm gonna render this. F12, save it before I render, obviously. And then just so you guys can see it, image texture, render result,
It takes 6 seconds to render this specific scene. Let's remove. Let's start off the pausing. Pausing is bad. So yeah, this takes 6 seconds to render. If you want a more typical render time, I usually try to aim between 30 to 1 minute and 30 minutes. 30 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's usually my render time per frame. So I render over the course of days or nights, you can say. So that's how long I usually take to render. If you know, let's take a look at one of the ready-made scenes because I have scene 3 lighting technically done. So we'll test on this. It's not going to be accurate because I'm also streaming, but it's you really want to see, we can check it out. So right here, let's try this one with all of the laggy things in the background as well. Oh, there's no grass. Okay, there's just no grass. So I'm going to render this just as is, and we'll see how fast it is. Image, render, result, and render. Let's see how fast this goes. Right, or is it done? No, it's not even close. We're not even close, but this is actually like pretty decent. There's some depth of field, but so yeah, according to the statistics, it's going to finish rendering in 40 seconds. We already have 37 seconds. So 30 plus 30, 40 plus 40 is approximately 80 minus 60, a minute and 20 seconds approximately. Honestly, this is enough. I think I have too much samples, 256. I should like put it on half. So it would technically take me a minute to render this frame. So yeah, 1 minute per frame is the general amount I would take. Anyway, back to class. Let's not get distracted. Yeah. So now that we have all of the effects in Blender done, we can run it through one more time. Right, one thing before we go to the other one, I noticed this. We go under the damn thing. I'm gonna increase this slightly so we don't go under. We still go under, so I'm going to move this up slightly so that we never go under. Still going under, a little bit higher. There we go. Now we can never go under. I use RTX 3090 for it. I use 3090. Would it be it would be less than 20 seconds? Yes, yeah. But I also have a really strong what is it? CPU. I just upgraded my CPU like a few months ago. It takes me 20 minutes to render one frame per cycle. That's quite a bit. Yeah, GTX 1060 is pretty weak. It's gonna be very painful to render. 32 GB RAM. Yeah, I don't think RAM does too much. It helps with loading textures, I think. No, that's VRAM. I think RAM is more for like when you're animating. If you have like high level of subdivisions, having RAM is good. I'm not too sure though. Yeah, I have my CPU is like Intel i9 14KS. I think according to my friend, it's currently the best in the world. It had like an overheating problem, so I was like, what's the point if what's the point of it being the best if it overheats, right? So, but then I fixed it somehow by going to the BIOS. I'm not rich. I had to sell my kit. Calm down, sir. I'm not rich. I just happen to work. Unlike you guys, you guys probably don't work. I have a keep crashing problem. Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. Okay, so now that we have this, right? Now we can start. Anything else we can change actually? Wait. Not really. I think it's time. One thing I do want though. I want to make these glow emission. But I think this might be the perfect time, the perfect chance to teach you guys how to use masks. In post-processing. I feel like it's very useful
Link materials. Okay. Oh dear. All right. So now these glow. It's my best animation, yeah, honestly. They decided to be this good. For anyone curious, I did this all today. I did like the animation this morning, and then I went to work, and then I came back from work, and I decided to stream to put all the effects in. So yeah, I did this all in one day. If everyone's curious, not trying to brag or anything, but yeah. Let's render this quickly, and I'll open After Effects on the side as well. Let's see. Desktop. Okay. FFmpeg, MPEG 4, we need an MP4, high quality, good encoding speed, H.264, MP3 audio codec. Yeah, we are ready. I can just open After Effects on the side and viewport render the animation. Before we viewport, I need to make sure the view transform is in standard so we get the full color. Because it doesn't, Eevee doesn't look good with AJX. You're hard working on like someone. AKA the twin brothers. I don't know who the twin brothers are, but thank you. I do enjoy being called the hard worker. Wait, I think I just wait. Are we also? We also have the annotations on. I don't really want the annotations on. Wait. I need to remove the annotations. Yeah, okay. The annotations are gone now. Yeah, okay. We can render this. This one more time. Zach and Mika. Did I spell Mika correct? I don't know who Zach and Mika is, but they gotta start working, bro. Whoever they are. I actually have no idea who Zach and Mika is. I'm sorry. Unless you mean Zach as in my colleague. Oh, Zamination. I know Zamination. I don't know them personally. I've watched their walk cycle tutorial, and that's about as much as I know about them. So I guess Zach and Mika are both combined Zamination, or what are we trying to say here? Because I don't know nobody. The only people I really know are people who make intros. Yeah, they both are okay. Yeah, so they are combined the Examination channel. I understand. Okay, so we're ready. Let me open up After Effects and I'm gonna start teaching you guys the good shit. Yeah, the main animators. Okay, I see. That's cool. I actually don't think I've watched any of their animations besides their walk cycle tutorial because I'm not like a Minecraft animator. I'm more of like I started off making intros, so the only animators I knew were like intro animators. So I know like Braz, Jerry Designs, Overpan. I think there was one like Splod. I know those guys. I don't know like I don't know Zamin. I did watch a lot of Slamacao though. Slamacao. Who else was it? Blue Monkey. Blue Monkey's nice. Examination. I have not watched. Any of like the FNAF animators that do like FNAF Minecraft things, I haven't watched that either. I watched some of them. No, wait, not even some of them. I saw some, like from a picture, like the thumbnail, but I actually haven't watched them. All right, let's go After Effects. New project. I'm gonna have to put the file in, not the file. I need to put the screen. Before we do that, just gonna put this in real quick and switch to AE. We have it. Yeah, we have it. Nice. All right. I miss how high Cry. Welcome to the stream. I miss Slamacao and QDAG. Yeah, I'm sad that Slamacao is no longer actively animating. Some things happened on his side. I recall from like his Enderman video, which is quite sad. But hey, that's just how life is. They took and decided to move on with it. Can you react to QDAG someday? I have never heard of QDAG. I will probably react to it someday. Who is this QDAG you talk of? QDAG. Can't spell. Qdank. This does not feel like the Qdank you were talking about. This looks like a sporting event. I'm gonna type in Qdank animator Minecraft. No, I can't. So you're gonna have to. You get QDank. Qdean. Qdean. Qdean C. There we go. 77K. Alright, I'll watch this in my free time. They have the old style of Minecraft faces. I'm not the biggest fan of it. They have a Cube World animation. Wait, I love Cube World actually. Oh, they were part of the old gang 10 years ago. Yeesh. What's the last video? 7 years, bro. They're old. They're sold. Anyway, let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away. We're still in class right now. We're gonna be finishing off the final stretch. And it's gonna be making effects in After Effects. Alright, so let's start with the first thing. So the first thing we need, or the first thing I want to do, is to make this, which I said I was going to make like a lens flare for this, because it's pretty hard to see this, because you're going to be focused on this character, and that incoming projectile will be hard to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a new adjustment layer. Right? So right click, add an adjustment layer. And you just go in. I have the lens flare add-on, so you're gonna need this. You're gonna need this if you want it, but you technically don't need it. You can always use a picture, and it works. Lens flare add-on is like cool because you can customize your flares. But in the end of the day, it's just a picture anyway. It has like some nice not physics, but like movements with the lens as well. But you don't need it technically. All you need is a straight line technically. Let me turn up the other thing as well, because you guys can't see the actual lens flare thingamajiggy. Sapphire plugins, Nikon AF 85mm. Yeah. This should be the flare plugin. So I'm gonna use this one because it's a nice straight line. It's a single point and a straight line. This is what I use for projectiles. This is what I like to use for projectiles. As long as it's a single point, straight line, not too like crazy like this one, right? Or this one. Because these are way too distracting. You want it to be nice and simple. So this one is nice. We can change it more later. But for now, this will be perfect. I'm gonna animate this by I don't use Premiere Pro. I actually use After Effects. AE. I use AE. I don't have Premiere Pro. Whenever I edit a video, I use Blender, as in Blender Video Editor, Rockstar. So yeah. Have I used it? Yes, I have used it once. I used it to make my. I used it to make my cloth tutorial video thingy. It's quite nice. Okay, so here's how you do it, right? So there is an option where you can, there's like an outer track option, which is nice if you have a emission pass where the only object that is visible is the object you want to track. That would be nice if you had that. I do not have that, so I'm going to have to manually animate this. We know the first starting point is right here, so we're going to put the hotspot right there. We're going to add a keyframe using this stopwatch. Press U on the adjustment layer and you can see the keyframe right here. Now, it's very bright, so I'm going to lower down the scale from 400 to like 40. 10 times less bright. So yeah, this is the perfect size. We start here, go next frame. As it moves up, we just follow it. Next frame. This is extremely tedious, but without the proper emission passes, we can't exactly automatically do this. So, and it's only in for a few frames anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And sometimes you can even skip frames because you can use the interpolation from from After Effects to basically get what you need. Yes. Yep, and it's like pretty accurate for now. Here. Let's move 2 frames up, see what we take it. Right here. This there. Now this is off the screen. The cool thing about this is I can actually put it off the screen. And it still has like some nice afterglow. Right here. Put this on the corner screen. And this is where it's supposed to disappear, so it doesn't matter which position it's here. This is also pretty close, but I think I can still put a hotspot right in the center. And here's where it disappears. So in this position, I would need the scales to be 0. So right here, the scale would be this, 40. And towards the top, I want it to be a little bit brighter. Not that bright. Maybe like this. And then it like dies down. So this is what it would look like. Okay, I need to be 0 in the beginning as well. I need to pulse a little bit in the beginning, just so the viewers know that there's something happening here. There we go. There we go. Let's go. Oh, well, there's a bunch of shit you guys said. I remember Black Plasma Studios having really bad walks. Yes, I remember that as well. I remember there's like a Skywars video they made it. I'm like, it's a good animation, but the walk cycles are so bad. But then again, they were, still in their learning phase. Now they have like Songs of War. I still haven't watched Songs of War. I watched like the first episode. It was so nice, but I didn't continue because I was like, I had like big exams coming up. So I quit animating for 2 years because I was studying for those exams. And then I completely forgot that Songs of War existed. Because I was watching Songs of War when they were still in production and they were like sending out like teasers. And then after 2 years, they actually finished it, but I forgot about it. What else? I don't use any editing software other than DaVinci Resolve. I might try DaVinci Resolve out because last time I couldn't use it. Last time I tried to use it was when I still had my shitty laptop. And it was extremely laggy, so I gave up on using it. Use some names. Build the beat English or Spanish. Yeah, let's not English or Spanish. That cry. I love your effects and style. I work on other personal projects still in C4D. I don't have any. I don't have the patience to learn post production on Blender. It's pretty simple. I'd say it's not that difficult. If you put in some time, you can definitely get it. Okay, so we have this. It's working now. The cool thing about this add-on is that you can add flicker to your flares. So in the settings, there's a flicker setting. If you increase the amplitude, it will change the brightness by 5 points, or however much points you add. So if you look at it right now, okay, it's not flickering right now, probably because the speed is pretty low. So I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna try flicker it by 100. Oh, it's actually just the amount. Yeah, there we go. So that's the flicker that we're looking for. 100 is too strong. Let's tone it down to 50. Let's increase the speed to 2 so it flickers more often. Yeah, 50 is still too strong though, so let's go 25. Maybe 20. Yeah, and there's also like a really annoying part right here you need to fix. Oop. This is fine, and yeah. I think I can put this down to 1.5 and lower it down to 10. 10 should be enough. And then, because the object is purple, I want this to have like a purple hue. So we'll do this. Now it looks purple. It's a little too saturated, if anything, so I'm going to lower it to be more pinkish color. Yep. Oh, wait, no, wait, sorry. And you shouldn't be changing the color, you should be changing the hotspot color. Because the outside should technically still be white. Yeah, there we go. So now we have the center is pink, but the outside is more others. We'll lower the brightness by 0.8. So it's not too much on the eyes. 0.25 maybe. 2.25 is too low. 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 is good. There you go. Alright, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. See you later. See ya, M fan. Thank you for tuning in. There we go. Alright, before we end this off with the impact frames, I want to just do one more lens flare right here. Oh, where is it? Yeah, right here. So I want to do one more lens flare. Put the hotspot right there in the middle. Increase the scale widths just about like this much. Actually, I'm going to increase the scale widths a bit here and move the hotspot down. So we know it's coming from below the screen. And then we just cut it off here. Yeah. Increase the scale widths here. And then I needed to follow this the sword revealing trail. Yep. And then here is we just kill the scale widths a bit because it's pretty much gone here. So tip a little bit brighter. There we go. You know, I thought you'd do this stuff inside. You can technically do it inside Blender. Yeah, it's very doable inside Blender. There is actually an add-on inside Blender, but the problem is if you do it in Blender and you render it and you think it looks bad, you can't change it. If you do it in After Effects, you can always, like, you know, undo. So that's why I do it in After. You can totally do this in Blender if you have, like, a picture of a lens flare. Totally doable. I used to do it actually, but I wanted the ability to undo any mistakes I make, and it's so much easier to do it in After Effects than it is to do in Blender. Also, the Blender is usually the laggier one because if I have like really large scenes, animating a lens flare with like lag is annoying. So it's better. It's for me. It's like it's personal preference that I like to do it in AE, but you can also do it in Blender. Yep, I think we're ready. Alright, let's let me show you guys how to do the final effect, which is the what is it called? My brain stopped working. Impact frames, yeah, impact frames. I'm gonna add in a new adjustment layer. I'm gonna make it look a bit, I'm gonna cut it off a bit short because we only need it to be on the impact right here. Right here is an impact. I'm gonna shorten it right there. So this is gonna be a circular impact because we have a center point, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna expand outwards. So what I would recommend is using a radial blur. I think it's called radial blur. I'm not exactly sure. No, it's not called radial blur. I'm pretty sure. Okay, it's directional blur, but it's from Sapphire. Because I am pretty sure these guys have a directional. Is it not from Sapphire? Might be just normal. No, it is definitely from Sapphire, but I think I'm choosing the wrong blur. Blur and direction. There's one, so I'm gonna have to find it. Blur, radial blur. S gradient radial. CC no. Blur. S blur. All right, let's check Sapphire distort. Distort blur. Blur motion. Direction. I remember it being directional blur. Give me a second. I need to find it. Edge blur, motion blur. I think it's motion blur. No? Damn. Yes, it's motion blur. So this is like blur motion. Oh shoot! Oh no, I'm using the wrong one. So I want the center to be the center of impact, which happens to be right here. This is the center of impact. So now it's like zooming in. And now we have these lines. You can kind of see like the line patterns of it going outwards. And that is exactly what we're going to take advantage of. So using this blur and pairing it up with an edge detect, we can get this line, these lines. I'm going to turn off subpixel smooth, turn off edge smoothness so we can get really sharp shadows, I guess. Turn off saturation so it is completely white, black and white. And in addition to this, I'm going to add S-rays. Or just, what is it? S-rays, yeah. So, in addition to this, S-rays on the center right here, just to add in a bit more, you know? S-rays, I'm going to increase the ray length. There we go. Ray brightness as well. This gives it this feel. I'm gonna move the blur motion over it. Yeah, there we go. Next, after this is contrast, brightness contrast, and we're gonna increase the contrast. I'm gonna use legacy. Increase the contrast, make it look like this. I can also increase the brightness just a bit, just a little bit. All right, I think there's not enough lines for us to use here. I'm gonna go to edge detect and change the threshold. I can't change the threshold's already maxed. I'm gonna increase the brightness then. Yeah, whatever. This works as well. Right, so this is the impact frame we're gonna be using. It's again, this is like this is how I generate my impact frames. Usually impact frames are drawn in, but this is what I do. So anyway, the final touch you need is invert. You can use either invert or S invert. I'm gonna use S invert. Ow, my eyes are so bright. So now what you need to do is you just need to flicker this on and off. Epilepsy warning for anybody who's light sensitive. Ouch, that actually hurts my eyes. Right, so just a few frames and then you cut it off and delete. And there you have your impact frame. That's how you do it. It's pretty simple. Just a few. You only need like 3 or 4. So this is how you do like the radial one. There's also another one where you can use instead of using S-rays and motion and blur motion, you can use directional blur. This is specifically if you want it to go in like a certain direction. So like left to right or like bottom left to top right, something like that. So I would just take out a directional blur directional. Let's take S blur directional, right? And then in this direction. So now this gives us like a straight line. And in addition to this, like just like how we have both S-rays and blur motion for radial impact frames, we have 2 types for this as well. We can also use pixel sort for like linear ones. So pixel sort, if I put pixel sort, what it does is it basically pixel sort is a really nice effect. So I think what's the direction of this? Randomly okay, sort angle 45 degrees. 45 degrees. Oh, that's the wrong one. Negative 45 degrees is what I'm looking for. Yeah. So this gives a really cool effect. You can switch up the order and you can get different effects depending on it. You can even put it after the edge detect. And it's like mix and match. With effects, you can really just get anything you want. All right, so I'm gonna turn off the. I'm gonna turn on this off. Yep. So we're just gonna use S. We're gonna use the radial one for now, and this is good enough. So let's back up and see what it looks like again. I'm gonna add another impact frame right here. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to tell you is I like doing this, and I like adding a vignette right before putting right before the edge detect. Is because it allows me to make the okay wait, I can't see it though. Oh, I put it on the wrong one. Okay, right here. So I put a vignette right before the edge attack, and this just fades out the lines at the corner because I don't want the corners of the screen to be too bright. So I like doing this. What was the radius? Let's lower the radius. Yeah, there we go. Lower this here. So because I don't want the edges to be too bright, so I have a vignette to chill out the corners, right? Don't have to do it. I think it looks better when everything is not in your face. Yeah, so with and with. So I'll show you with and without. So this is with, this is without. You can see how the effects on the corners are, you know, are more mellow when you have a vignette on. And I think it just looks, it's easier on the eyes that way. And then we have another one right here. For this one, I want it to be shorter because it's extreme. It's like, it doesn't last for long. And we're done. That's how you do effects on an animation. That's how I do effects on an animation. I don't think there's very little much more we could sorry. There's very little we can do after this. Yeah, I don't see anything else I can add. This is perfect. Now all we have to do is render this. It does give it a fresh look. Indeed. In fact, I think the animation is incomplete without it. I'm gonna add a bit of a spotlight here. I'll make this into like a video. Yeah, we're done. Congratulations to anyone who stayed the whole 3 hours. Thank you for listening to my TED talk on how to make special effects on animations. Hope it was useful to you all. And I think it is time for me to stop because I've been animating for 3 hours, and it's almost like 5 o'clock, 5 in the morning. I should probably sleep soon. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Be seeing you guys. Bye bye. See you maybe probably tomorrow. I don't work anymore, so I can stream whenever the fuck I want. I'm gonna stream a lot in the next coming weeks before I start uni. Right? Good night. Bye bye.